Race bait. Quite by accident, I have been dropped into this heaven. Pinpointing when, the specific incident, it spiraled me through millions of unexamined suppressions. You see, before today, more than 50 years, the hue, beige, russet, midnight blue, defined the parameters of the protective organization, my haven, my safe place, the desired configuration. Now, this focus on color of skin could have been merely a fictionalized story, except for the dogs, hoses, bombings, hangings, and all Jim Crow things gory. You see, it was a concept driven by a superior intention, institutionalizing a hostile, unfair, evil condition. For through the lens of race, one group lost the propensity, the willingness to define social wrongs, instead remaining trapped in the past amidst ghostly, vicious throngs. As race alone was the bait that made them, not us, unable to find their human pace. Generations wandering, unknowing, perpetuating a national disgrace. But finally, in an instant, one pregnant with promise moment, history heralds the end of a psychological torment, and out of the dust emerges new dimensions, common expansions, easy to see conventions among beings, not tones, on one accord, as we see distinct progressions, as complex, thoughtful motivations spark and ignite, and finally, a country is driven into the light. Welcome to Black History Month, congregation. Some of you may know, and this may be a learning moment for others of you. Dr. Carter G. Woodson believed that Blacks should know their past in order to participate intelligently in the affairs of our country. He strongly believed that Black history, which others have tried so diligently to erase, is a firm foundation for young Black Americans to build upon as they become productive citizens of our society, of the places in our society, such as our church. Dr. Woodson is known as the father of Black history. He authored numerous scholarly books on the positive contributions of Blacks to the development of America, as well as published many magazine articles analyzing the contributions and roles of Black Americans. Over the next 3 Sundays, we will value the telling of our individual and collective stories by entwining Dr. Woodson's intent with the West African tradition of training griots to keep our church history, tell our stories, learn our poems, and perform our music. We will begin with an Elderriots Spotlight on the 14th, that second Sunday, where we will be regaled with stories told by Sister Loretta Walden and Sister Cecilia Dennis. On the third Sunday, we will have a guest musician and hear from Brother Coleman Eldridge. On the fourth Sunday, we will continue to allow our program to remain in the domain of our young people as they celebrate Youth Sunday, and we will hear stories and other contributions that allow them to celebrate the Black History Month tradition in the way that is appropriate for them. But we will hear a story written and told by our young adult representative to the lay organization, Michael Byrne. We'll be surprised and pleased with whatever else our young people want to offer us. So stay with us throughout our Black History meditations. On the fourth Sunday, our pastor will give us a wrap up that will help us to move forward in the next year as we become pace setters, creators of our own Black history.
I was born in 1946, more than 2,000 miles away from the United States, in Colón, a city in the Republic of Panama, where the official native language is Spanish. I'm Afro-Antillean, which in my case is a West Indies immigrant descendant with origins in Barbados and Jamaica. My ancestor immigrated to Panama for better opportunities after the opening of the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is an artificial waterway in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. I remember growing up with a single mom who was a domestic worker on a U.S. military base in Panama. For a very low salary, she worked very hard and for long hours to support 3 children. I am the second child, and we were and remain a very close and loving family. There were times we would have to go without food. We move a lot since there were times Mom could not afford the rent. But through it all, we had fun growing up. My relatives, grandparents, parents, aunts, and uncles taught me stories about Barbados and Jamaica. When those 2 Caribbean nations were entwined with my life as a Panamanian, they produced a woman with a rich heritage. That is why I have held on to my Hispanic and West Indies culture. By the time I left Panama, I understood the tradition of my ancestor. I love to cook. I enjoy carnival growing up, which takes place over the 4 days preceding Ash Wednesday, the start of Lent, with street dancing, eating, floats, which is similar to Mardi Gras. I'm a hard worker that I learned from my mom, how to turn little into much. My mom and aunts always had a strong relationship with God, which they taught me as well. There is so much more to my story from Panama to the United States. But in the interest of time, I will tell you that God has brought me a mighty long way. I tell my daughter, granddaughter, grandnieces, and grandnephew my story, my growing up story, and the sacrifice my mom and our family made to make a better life for all of us. Panama motto is the Latin word pro mundi beneficio, which means for the better of the world. May this brief telling of my story benefit the world. I am Cecilia Dennis, and I migrated into the United States on January 1965. I am Black History.
is a poem written by Susie Miller, 1975, read by her daughter, Loretta Walden. What this world is all about. Some men climb mountains to the highest peak, and some never attain which they seek. With gold and silver and palaces they abound, but never seem to notice they're using God's ground. And from his stars they got directions to sail the seven seas. Just ask one of them to go to church. He'll say, I do as I please. Doing something for God is not their moral creed. The material things they gain is all they said they ever need. God gives his love and protection to all that need, even the smallest bird he sees. With this ages of speed and pace, reaching for the stars and moon in outer space. So let's take a pause and try to find out what this world is all about.
Hi. Good morning, Payne family. This is Black History Month, and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and my father. My father was drafted into the Army with 8 children and I was the 9th on the way. I was born on June 18, 1944 in Hanover, Maryland. The United States was just invading Normandy on June the 6th. This invasion was the beginning and the end of World War II. You might wonder why a man with 8 children would be drafted into the military. Well, my father and my grandfather was entrepreneurs. And back in those days, the post office, the white gentleman who was run the post office, drafted him into the military with the 8 children. Why? Because he said that he was getting too big for his britches because he was an entrepreneur. And I grew up experiencing racism at the beginning of life. It was good. I was a good child, and I played boyish pranks. My parents was a member of St. Mark's United Methodist Church, but my sister Anya Thomas and her family attended Payne. She would on occasion take my twin daughters to church with her. It was for that reason I chose to make Payne my church home. I had been in the shoe repair business for over 40 years. And I want to say I chose the name shoe specialist. Why shoe specialist? I wanted my customers to realize I specialize in shoe repair and orthopedic work. My philosophy was based on the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that I wanted to be judged by the content of my character and not by the color of my skin. If I was to write a note to my young self, I would say, never give up on your dreams. You see, my dream was to be a singer. And you don't mind, I have a song for you. When I started on my journey, I was a lost and lonely soul. Didn't know who I was or where I wanted to go. There was this emptiness inside of me that I could never seem to feel. There was this longing in my heart that the world just couldn't heal. But I'm all right. Lord, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Said I'm all right. Ooh, yes, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Now, people who used to tell me that I could do it on my own, but every time I tried it, I found myself alone. So I went to my neighbor. I said, neighbor, I need some help. He said, I can't help you, my brother, because I'm looking for help myself. Because I'm all right. Ooh, Lord, I'm all right. I'm all right now. So I'm all right. Yes, Lord. I'm all right. I'm all right now. Listen. But then one day I heard him knocking at my door. In my heart I opened. I knew it was the Lord. He told me that he loved me. He gave me peace within. He forgave my transgression, and then he cleansed my heart clean. But I'm all right. Ooh, Lord, I'm all right. I'm all right now. Church, I'm all right. Yes, Lord, I'm all right. I'm all right now. That's it. My name is Coleman Elridge. Born on June the 18th, 1944. I'm 76 years old, and this is Black History.
As we close out this segment of our Black History Elderriots Spotlight, we can agree that our lay organization elder participants are indeed members of the cadre of post-World War II citizens who are part of America's living history.
I'm Simpiwe. I'm from South Africa, and I'm one of the originators of that dance you now call stepping. After slavery, the British who ruled South Africa still didn't see us Africans as equals. But I knew my worth. In the 1890s, I owned a pretty nice farm until the Europeans started to find out about the diamond and gold mines in the country. They claimed ownership of those mines and wanted us Africans to work in them. When we refused, the Europeans developed oppressive laws and high taxes to force us off our land and our families onto inferior land far away from the city. Us men were forced to live in horrible compounds in the city close to the mines. Not only did I miss my family, but the mines were a harsh environment and often flooded. The flooding caused our skin to break down, resulting in ulcers and skin infections. This became a big problem for the mine owners because when we got too sick, we couldn't work. To solve that problem, they gave us rubber gum boots to wear. We were in darkness in those mines, sometimes chained and not allowed to speak to each other. So we began to communicate by stomping our feet and slapping those gumboots. This gumboot dance eventually became a means of entertainment. We knew how to find joy even when times were hard, so after work, we started using those boots and our bodies to make drum-like beats. The mine owners know the government could hold us down. They could make life hard for us, but nobody could break our spirit or stop our swag. Today, this dance style is done by many Black Greek organizations, drill teams, and church youth groups, and called stepping. But now you know how it started. It's my victory dance.
My name is Michael Richard Byrne, and I am 12 years old, and I am named after my dad's older brother, Michael, and my grandfather, Richard. I was born on October 7th, 2008 in Baltimore. I am the second son and third child of Thomas and Wanda Byrne. My parents met in November of 2005 on a dating app called Yahoo Meets. Their first date was to the Jewish Museum because my mom thought that my dad was Jewish. He's Catholic, by the way. My dad proposed on January 23rd, 2006 in an email. He said that he didn't want to do the bended knee thing because my mom's first husband already did that. They were married on June 10th, 2006. I was born in the fall of 2008, 3 months after my dad finished his medical residency. My dad was 45 and my mom was 36. My dad says that he was dating with a purpose because he wanted a wife. Mom said she didn't know that. My mom says that she remembers how blue the sky was that day when she was walking down the aisle. Dad said that he was afraid that Mom wasn't going to show because she was 30 minutes late to the wedding. My mom said that she wasn't coming out until the caterers stopped making so much noise in the kitchen. My dad's parents are Richard and Louise Byrne, and they were married for more than 55 years before my grandfather died in November of 2011. My mom's parents are Maybelle and Carl Ford. Back to me. Dad said that when they were bringing me home from the hospital, the streets of Baltimore were shut down for the Baltimore Marathon, and he had to take the long way home and got lost. They had to pull over because I was hungry and my mom had to breastfeed me. Mom said that when I was 1 month old, Barack Obama was elected the President of the United States, and she said that she cried that night because she knew anything was possible for me and my older brother. I am Michael Richard Byrne. I was born 2008 on October 7th. I am 12 years old. I am Black History.
How you doing today? My name is Jakai. I'm 16 years old. I am Black History, and there is no one else like me.
I'm Ryan. I'm 10 years old, and I am Black History. I am somebody in the whole wide world. Is none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. Is none like me.
I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me.
I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. I am somebody in the whole wide world. There's none like me. We, the youth of pain, understand that we are uniquely made in the image of God.